Hello everyone, this is Tamer Helmi, and today I'm going to talk to you about what are the first steps you take when your pharmaceutical operations are faced with a deviation. So when a pharmaceutical operation is faced with a deviation, the first steps must be deliberate, risk-based, and defensible to regulators. The objective is to protect the patients, protect the product, and preserve data integrity in that order. Here are practical inspection-ready sequence used by mature quality organizations. First one is the immediate containment and safety assessment. First question, is there an immediate risk to patient safety or product quality or data integrity? So the actions to that is, first of all, to stop the affected activity if necessary, and then to quarantine the impacted materials or intermediates or batches. Then you secure the electronic paper data and prevent overwriting or loss. Then you need to stabilize the process or system key points. Key points here, containment is not a root cause. Regulators expect you to act before you fully understand the issue. Second main step here is the notification and documentation. So you need to document early before memories fade or data changes. The actions on you are to initiate the deviation in the quality system promptly, and then notify the QA, relevant stakeholders, for example, manufacturing, QC, engineering, IT, as applicable. Then you clearly document what happened, when it was discovered, how it was detected, and what is known versus unknown at this point. You need to avoid speculation at this stage and stick to the facts and evidence. Third point is the initial risk assessment. Perform a preliminary risk evaluation to determine the depth and urgency of the investigation. Consider while you're doing that product impact, sterile versus non-sterile, clinical versus commercial. Then process step criticality. You need to also mind the detectability and reversibility. And then you have to consider the historical recurrence. This step drives investigation level, which means if it's a minor, major, or critical. And then also it will drive the timelines, and it will drive the senior management involvement. Next step, you need to define the problem statement clearly. A strong deviation rises or falls on the problem statement. For a best practice, describe the deviation precisely and neutrally. Avoid embedding assumptions or causes. Define the expected condition versus the actual condition. For example, you can say differential pressure between ISO 7 and ISO 8 was below the established alert limit for 12 minutes during the aseptic setup. But it's better not to say something like, quote, HVAC malfunction caused pressure loss, end quote. So this is probably not sufficient as a problem statement. Number 5, you need to preserve evidence and establish data integrity. And before the root cause work begins, lock relevant records, preserve alarm logs, audit trails, EM data, chromatograms, or video. Ensure interviews are documented contemporaneously. Regulators will ask, how do you know this is all the data? Number 6, assign roles and investigation ownership. You have to define investigation owner, who is accountable, SMEs, engineering, microbiology, IT, validation, etc. And then the QA oversight. This prevents fragmented investigations or unclear accountability. And remember, when everyone owns it, no one owns it after all. The last step is to communicate with purpose. Internal communication should be factual, controlled, and aligned, while externally you need to communicate with customers, partners, regulators, and you need to communicate only when required. Ensure messaging is consistent with documented facts. What inspectors expect to see when the FDA or the EMA reviews a deviation, they are looking for speed of containment, clarity of documentation, risk-based thinking, absence of hindsight bias, control of data. A strong start always determines whether a deviation becomes a closed event or a CAPA driver or an inspection observation. So the key takeaways here is the first steps in deviation management are not about finding blame or root cause. They are about control, clarity, and credibility. If those established early, the investigation and CAPA have a much higher chance of standing up to regulatory scrutiny. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking with you in another video.